she's starting on the Bloodborne one, so there's going to be a Bloodborne one back there as well. I can't unban the girl because the Discord, they have issues with her. I don't know anything about it. I don't want the drama. I've gotten along great with her.
You're here.
And
We're
she
live.
told me that she's trying to sort of move out of all that drama and shit. And so, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Meantime, Tech, where you at, man? I'm ready to send you the show, but I don't know where you're at. Well, again, Damon, that's the whole point. I'm not going to get involved with it, and I've told her as much. I've said your reputation precedes you. I haven't had any issues with you. I get along great with you, and I appreciate you doing this and all that stuff.
Perfect.
But my community says that it's probably not a good idea to have you in the community. And know what the link is, so when I set up my stream, I'm waiting for you to right? You know what I'm asking for, right? Where do I put your link? I know where to put it. I just don't know what your link is, if any of this makes sense what I'm saying.
This guy's gonna piss me off.
Tell me about it.
We're live. We have 2 concurrent viewers.
Okay, so let me do that. So Tech Protect is going to do a show until 6:30 when he joins us over on the Madhouse at 6:30. Me and Bunny Button. It says redirect, but how do I do that? Like I go to edit and I see it. Do I hit in stream and it'll just do it?
Well, hello everybody. Let me do my fucking background. Yeah, I cut his stream early. I'll just put up. Let's do this for now. Change background. Tech. Hey, Bunny Button, how's it going? Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Scorp, I think you're on air. They can see you. Say hello.
How you doing, Tech Protect?
Doing well. Doing okay. I'm going to see if I can make the screen look a little bit better. I don't have that many assets. Border asset. Kind of rushing it. It was last minute planned, this whole thing. I could do the Madhouse border for now.
Best idea that you've had all week, I think. I think this was it. Exciting stuff to talk about today. A docket full.
Isn't that crazy?
It's fucking wild. I don't know how to contain myself right now. I'm gonna try, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
So if you're able to, any stories that we've talked about that we're gonna put onto the screen, if you want to share your screen so we can do that, that'd be sick. It is the Tech Protect channel, although it has the Madhouse little picture frame. I hope that's okay, chat. I did not have time to make one for myself, so you guys see Madhouse on the border. Madhouse on the border is not a bad idea. No, Scorp?
There's something to it. I like it. Madhouse on the border.
On the border.
Where's the border?
Well, that's for the U.S. to decide. Speaking about for the U.S. to decide, Donald Trump, Elon Musk.
Trumperino.
Yeah.
Elon Musk feud happening live in 4K. The border. For those of you that can afford 4K monitors like Tech Protect.
Wow, how many monitors do you have? 2?
Well, I have 2. I mean, if I take 2 and 2, I mean, I guess I add them. I guess that's how it works.
I have.
Does that make
monitors.
1 4K? Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Anyways, you were talking about tweets, right? Trump and Elon have been beefing live
Yeah.
against one another. And you have some tweets you can share, right?
I would love to send you tweets if you would like to do it. If you would like to do that. Yeah, let me go ahead and pull them up. Hot stuff. I mean, a bromance crumbling in front of our eyes. We thought they were a pair that would last forever. And it seems as soon as Elon had left, the admin, he had said some stuff. And yeah, we can definitely get into it. Let me go ahead and throw you some stuff there. Fucking Wall Street Journal. Does anyone else hate that Wall Street Journal has a fucking paywall? Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. Are you not able to present them on your screen? Would that fuck up something?
Yes. Paywalls are going the way of the dinosaur, I fucking hope. But yeah, let me go ahead and throw some stuff here.
Let me get my third monitor connected. So.
Got live updates.
Ricky says I was the 13th subscriber here. Kind of a big deal. That's true. He was. Ricky was the
13th?
13th subscriber. Tech, I'll
What
make
does he
like
what does he win, Tech?
500 accounts for you. The Cat Guy Gaming, I would appreciate that. They'll probably delete some of them for spam, but I would love it.
You're gonna like I think you're gonna like this. Going through a list of his tweets. Trump, I'm very disappointed with Elon. I've helped him a lot. He knew the inner workings of the bill better than anybody sitting here. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he has a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out we're going to cut the EV mandate. So Trump is claiming that Elon is just upsetty spaghetti because of this little bit in his gigantic, big, huge bill of awesome, or whatever the fuck he calls it. And that could lead to some serious repercussions later on down the line for space security, because now Elon Musk is threatening to decommission one of his Dragon capsules. And we kind of need those, because otherwise we are relying on, we're going to be relying on Russian capsules. I mean, just to get to the ISS, in 2011, the ISS has basically been using Elon SpaceX to get up and down, because before we were having to use foreign craft, and we don't really want that. We want independence. It's going to be kind of unfortunate if the egos clash here and we end up getting screwed later on down the line. But in my opinion, we need this space independence. We need the U.S. to have the ability to, like, what happens if there's an emergency on a space station? We're going to be like, hey, and then Russia's going to be able to, like, but if they're going to be able to leverage as much as they can. Go for it.
Picked him. I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars. And it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all.
Okay, so he's talking about the EV mandate stuff. Developed the problem when he found out we're going to cut EVs. False. This bill was never shown to me even once. It was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. Do you have other tweets? Because I know they were beefing a ton, right?
Yeah, they were beefing a fuck ton. Let me go ahead and send you this. Elon's claims. I mean, now he's really going off the fucking deep end. He's pulling the fucking cord. And I mean, every single hour we're getting some kind of different tweet, watching the relationship deteriorate. So, like, Elon straight up saying, and if you can go ahead and throw this up on there. I mean, and of course you can take all this with a grain of salt, because we don't know exactly what's true and what's not. We don't have access to this kind of information, but it's just really interesting. Here we go. Time to drop the really big bomb. @Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. I mean, he's going all out.
Fuck, dude, he's doubling down. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. That's crazy. Because they were like best friends.
No,
So
oh yeah, I mean,
you guys can
he
see-
basically created Doge for him.
That's fucking crazy. Do you think there's going to be some issues with, because Elon's cut so much spending because of Doge, right? I think they even said there's an article that came out recently that we're not going to be able to tell with accuracy like future hurricane problems because we've
Yeah.
cut the funding for launching like fucking air, like these fucking balloons, the weather balloons. And the people that do like the forecasting are also getting cut. I think they're like 30% missing manpower right now.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple friends that did. They were doing. They had their accounts for the VA in Texas, and all three of them. I had three friends. They're all doing basically the same job. They all lost their job immediately, and they had to swap the different accounts. It's really interesting to see something of this impact be able to affect just a regular person. Where like, I mean, how often does something big happen where you're like, oh yeah, that happened to my friend, that happened to my friend, that happened to my friend. This isn't just like eggs going up $1. This is like, oh shit, my friend lost his job, and my other friend, and my other friend, and all of these businesses that kind of thrive and depend on some of these things they're getting hurt fucking left and right. We don't know what the consequences are going to be, like down the line. I don't, this could cost so much more than they would be able to save from spending.
Do you see this post he has pinned, Elon Musk, 6 hours ago? Is it time to create a new political party in America that represents the
80% in the middle?
What do you think? Yes or no?
Oh, I think it's been long overdue. I think it's been tried before. I mean, they tried it with the Tea Party. I mean, they've tried it with the Green Party. Tried it. I still have Dukakis stickers. Yeah. I just don't. I don't see it happening. I think, and I'd like to be able to blame the left for a bit of this, just identity politics creeping in. But I mean, as you see, this is what happens when the right also uses this kind of tribalism. And I mean, let me link you some tweets because Elon Musk wanted Isaacman to be, if I remember right, head of NASA, and Donald Trump's response to that was straight up, he's a Democrat. They lost. They're not going to get it. I'm going to go ahead and bring you that. And I think just the simple fact that this all could have been prevented had Donald Trump been like, oh, this is a centrist Democrat. I don't have a problem with him being in here as long as his policy is aligned with mine. They didn't even get to that step, just straight tribalism. Yeah, what do you think about it?
Holy shit, that's crazy. I'm looking at this right here. President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should replace him. And Elon replies with yes. That's super beef.
Oh, crazier than that. Tesla's stock has dropped like 14.5% since then. It's something like $100 billion just vanished out of the market.
No.
Yeah.
You see this tweet? Donald Trump says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it.
And we can see what happens. Like I mean, Elon's got to a point where he can leverage his ability against Donald Trump's ability. And so if we lose, if Elon decides he just wants to press the eject button, we'd lose straight up probably the next 10 to 15 years of space independence. And the start is the most important thing if we're going to be in some kind of like arms race, not necessarily like an armamentarium of actual weaponry, but just being able to flourish and not have Russia and China keep up with us. We want to be ahead of the curve, and this is not the way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and find the tweet about Musk associates Jared Isaacman.
I have it here. I'm just on Elon's Twitter. If you're
Oh,
sharing the screen.
beautiful.
I'm
Go for it.
delighted to nominate Jared Isaacman, an accomplished business leader, philanthropist, pilot, and astronaut, as administrator of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Jared will drive NASA's mission, paving the way for... here we go. Groundbreaking achievements. Over the 25 years as founder of CEO of Shift4, Jared has demonstrated leadership. He also co-founded, served as CEO, Congratulations. His wife Monica and their children. All right, sick. And then his response was, this is what he said about Jared. And that's from last year. Was there current beef with Jared?
As far as I know, no. As far as I know, this is straight up Musk making, and you can correct me on the timeline if I'm wrong, Musk making comments, Donald Trump making comments and retaliating with, I'm not going to have this person be the head of NASA because just straight up, just because he's a Democrat. And now we're here.
Now we're here. Our nation is deeply, deeply in debt right now. Next year, our country will owe more than we produce for the first time since the end of World War II. Where is John Thune of 2020? It sucks. It sucks to see, like, these are two of the most powerful people on the planet.
Yeah, as far as we know.
And they're beefing with each other over our fucking country. Isn't that fucking, like, silly?
It's ego. So much of this is straight up just ego. I don't understand it. I mean, they're leveraging against each other, and all this does is hurt us. Losing out on the $7,500 tax credit would be not fantastic, especially if we're making this big push to electric. And then Elon being like, okay, I don't give a shit if the $7,500 is there or not. There's so much pork in this fucking bill. You can nuke that and I'll still be fine. I just don't want to see the pork there. And then every time it seems that Donald Trump loses a little bit of leverage from Elon Musk, he then doubles down and then doubles down. And I don't know where this goes from here. Which of the two people do you think has the bigger ego? Who do you think's not going to jump and take the high road?
Unfortunately, it's probably Trump. It more than likely is Trump. Tech, your mic is slightly low compared. I'll speak closer to my mic. Iris Stone says Trump is fucking up. He has to recognize, even if it isn't his agenda, allow Elon's agenda of helping America in its technological future free. They can do their own things. True. Trump is not going to back down. Right? Obviously, Trump's going to be the fucking asshole here who's going to just go and drive it into the ground. Fuck, you can be the richest man on the planet and still not have as much power as, like, the president. And the way the president can swing his weight around is going to be way more impactful.
Maybe, maybe not. What happens if this is the linchpin? What if this? Because I mean, we have an entire like organization, political party that it has. I mean, they are ideologues for an idol. But now, when you have, I mean, I remember before when Elon Musk was more Democrat-y, and he wasn't even a figure really in politics like this. Soon as he aligns himself with Trump, all of a sudden he's this big name, right? But the way that it seems the MAGA heads like love their idols, he's been pedestalized up to like a certain point here. But there's going to be like a cognitive dissonance they're going to have to deal with now. Like if Daddy Trump, if there was two people you were worshiping, and maybe they weren't on the same level, but you were like, oh, this person said this person's awesome. I fucking love everything he does. And then Donald Trump goes, no, this person's fucking dog shit. He's garbage. I don't like him anymore. And it happens at the flip. I can't see how there's no cognitive dissonance that happens there where you go like, wait, does this mean the entire time I wasn't supposed to support this person? Or like, what was the thing that made him not like him? I mean, the ego is just showing so fucking hard. And I don't see how if you like this president, you don't. I mean, maybe ego just isn't a factor for some people.
Maybe, but that whole like I'm gonna pull the government support, that's crazy. The subsidies, that'd be insane. Here's a clip. Elon Musk's son confronts Trump in the Oval Office, saying you need to go.
I'll ask Elon Musk to say a few words, and we'll take some questions. Elon, go ahead.
Sure. So the at a high level, if you say what is the goal of Doge and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, X, you would have to, if you, sorry. So,
Is the kid wearing like a bandolier? Is that what he has on his chest?
Well, he was actually diving against the Terminids early on. He got the war bond, and he got the borderline justice war bond.
This is
And
like,
so he's ready to pop off. You know, his name is X. We don't know what's really happening.
yeah, is that like the fattest Cuban chain I've ever seen? That's what it looks like, right?
That's a
tell you,
bandolier.
gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If if there's not a good feedback loop from the people to
That's just funny. Now, who in the chat was it? It was they said, is this where they talk about the Switch 2? So, Switch 2.
You wanna?
Yeah. Do you have a video? You have an article? You have a thing?
We can just talk about it if you want. I don't have anything for specifically like pulled up for the Switch. I mean, I can if you would like me to.
Let's find some stuff. Let's find some things. But so
okay.
Switch 2 releases. Longtime viewer of the Jaffe channel, Bukaki, I think it was, or someone. Chat, if you know who it was yesterday, they said they were waiting in line for the Switch 2 release at GameStop, and they had, I think, 130 extra consoles, past pre-orders. They just had 130 you could pick up in the store, and everyone was panicking, right? People were fucking throwing their shit that they weren't gonna be able to get the fucking console. Oh, they're gonna run out, and they just had a ton of them there.
Yeah.
Do you think the Switch 2's release? Oh, Darth Nugget says, Morgan, thank you. Do you think it was like artificial inflation, like panic that Nintendo was doing with this, or do you think it just like less people ordered it than they thought they were going to need to?
I mean, I tend to think that less people ordered it than they thought they were going to need to. The whole panic thing to me doesn't really. If they were really trying to like just look better or maybe even create more sales down the line, I mean, the Switch 2 is going to be so fucking huge as a console and it's going to sell so much that I don't think, I mean, if I was them, I would have just filled up warehouses and warehouses full. I don't think they have an inventory issue. Yeah, I think it just happened to happen.
So you did want to talk about the Switch 2. What point were you going to make about the Switch 2 in our little docket that we had 30 minutes to make?
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Their anti-piracy measures are fucking buck wild.
Oh, you mean the terms of services thing?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's in the EULA and everything. Basically, what happens is like the TLDR is previously you were able to mod your Switch and other devices too with a paperclip, literally, because that's how they actually accessed it when they went to go fix it. And I don't know. I mean, we can have a different conversation about the ethics of modding and if it's something we should even give a fuck about in the first place. Will this harm the industry or not? I don't think it will, but we can have a conversation about that. But yeah, apparently, if you have what they were trying to prevent basically was a voltage drop affecting the CPU to bypass different securities so you could be able to mod it, right? And so what they decided to do to fight that was, okay, if we detect like a change in voltage that's just anomalous, we're going to brick it. And it just fucking bricks it. And so what happens if you don't have a surge protector or there's a fucking thunderstorm and it's charging? What happens if you happen to be playing a game that got like washed, literally? What happened, like it was in the washing machine and like it just doesn't, it seems so hardcore to me that they would have no fail safe for that. And they're just like, yes, if you try to either do any kind of piracy stuff, to do any kind of hacking or modding, we're going to instantaneously brick the entirety of your Switch. For me, that feels gross. I feel like if I spend this much money on a console, I should do whatever the fuck I want with it, you know? I mean, they didn't really give a shit about like Androids. Remember back, 10, 15 years ago, you remember this, you're like 86. You could like root Androids and that was like one of the benefits instead of having an iPhone. You had like crazy cool wallpapers that moved, graphics and stuff that were ahead of its time. And no one really gave a fuck.
Yeah,
no one really cared.
Right here, you acknowledge that if you fail to comply with the foregoing restrictions, Nintendo may render the Nintendo account services or the applicable Nintendo device permanently unusable in whole or in part. Just straight, yeah, we'll fucking destroy your device.
Bricks it. And I see so many different ways that it can go wrong. I see so many ways that it can accidentally detect a voltage difference. And it's not just like, oh, you have access to the internet and we're going to like do some kind of weird perm IP ban or like eliminate your access to update the firmware. It's straight up bricking your Switch. I have you ever seen this before? I don't think I have.
Our company can brick your stuff. I mean, Microsoft Enterprise like OS keys, I think at one point were able to be bricked like remotely. But even that, like
An instantaneous system that detects something. I get the whole being able to log in and brick someone's thing if you need to, but not like a. Here's something that, I mean, it's kind of tangential. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
When you would cheat in, I'm trying to remember which, it was Spyro Way of the Dragon. When you would cheat in Spyro Way of the Dragon, it would detect you cheating and it would fuck with you. Like just like hardcore fuck with you, make the rest of the game unplayable, and they would add in sprites and doodads and things, and like a monster would pop up and all these things. It kind of reminds me of that, just petty, but this is on the scale of like millions of dollars that could be lost.
Yeah, there's been a couple of games that like if it detected piracy, instead of just like destroying your game, it was like, we'll just fuck with you a ton. Like I think, was it Crysis 2? Fuck, it might be Crysis 2, or it might be like a Far Cry game, where if it detected the game itself, the license was cracked, then you just make your guns do like 1% the damage it was supposed to. Like is that you just like 100 times the amount of bullets necessary to kill an enemy.
You know what's kind of funny about that though is I could imagine like hard mode speedrunners taking advantage of that and creating a new a new hardest. I mean, I would a new hardest difficulty, and then posting that on YouTube. Like, I fucking beat the game at 1%. I had like no testicle and I had 3 grenades and yeah.
There's a number of games difficulty ratings that I think we might have a thing to talk about here. Have you seen the new is it Dark Ages, the Doom Dark Ages game?
Doom, yeah.
Yeah, so they have a new way to interact with the difficulty of the game is by using sliders that change certain characteristics of like the enemies and your speed and how like the game works, like in general.
They're more aggressive and
yeah. Do you think that's a better mechanic to make games more difficult towards your skill ceiling? Than like what other games do with like New Game Plus, because me and you just started playing Diablo 4, right?
Yep.
And you unlock like easy mode, or like, I think it's like normal and then hard, and that's all you can start with, and eventually you can get like fucking like level 9, which
and then you get Torment 6.
Yeah. That shit makes all the enemies have much more health. Tech is not reading chat. I said the audio is low, and 2 or 3 people agreed. No one believes a nugget. Audio should be fine, I think.
You're very loud. You're very loud to me on Discord, so I don't know what your
who's low, chat? Which one's low? Is it Tech or is it Scorpagus? Scorpagus is the cute guy with the beanie.
Oh, he's lying to chat. That's so sweet.
Looks like my mic is going well.
The I mean, for the slider, that's been a thing for a while in different games. I mean, if I remember right, the South Park game, you could do a slider to change your skin color, and that would change the difficulty of the game. Am I wrong with that? Maybe it wasn't a slider, but it was just...
truth. It was a slider. It was like choose
your
skin tone.
Okay.
Yeah, choose your skin tone, and then
I forgot I'm Himothy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My memory just that good.
I have now boosted my mic. He's plenty loud. You guys are fine. Audio is fine on both. Yeah, no one believes a nugget because he's fucking wrong. All right. Anyways, yeah. So with difficulties, because we've had a conversation about Helldivers, right? Helldivers 2. Their difficulty scale on missions is just like the amount of enemies and then like certain effects they give the enemies. I don't think if you've noticed it because we haven't played too much together on like bigger maps. But like tanks on the game, like the Chargers or the Bile Titans on bug maps, will have more health or are faster, right? They're more aggressive. They have a better like detection range. That increases with the difficulty on there and the amount of
not
enemies
just that. Also, to even have massive enemies in your game starts at, I believe, 5 or 6. They can't even spawn in until you reach the difficulty.
Yeah, which I think is cool. I like Helldivers.
I love it too. I think, and I've been I've been saying this for probably a week or so. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been saying that they need to increase the difficulty. They need to expand the end game to something. I understand why people might not agree with that sentiment, but I think the kind of endless grinding, once you reach that skill level and you have all the rewards and the creds and the stratagems, and you have like, I mean, you and me, we go in there, we're lopping down tens like it's fucking
easy.
nothing. People joining in our game. I mean, I could say this empirically. People joining in our game make it harder for us to join, even though it might not even scale.
Well,
depending
it
on
does scale. It scales based on how many players are in the map, right? So, when it's just me, right? Let's say the enemy count on a level 10 mission is like 300 enemies. Then you join in, it goes up by 25%, right? So,
Jamie, can we fact check this, Jamie? Can we
Jamie,
get
you
a
look this
fact
up?
check on that one? Can we look this one up?
It increases the amount of enemies that show up. So there's 4 people on a map. So when me and you're like doing 10s together, easy, right? But now that we have 2 more people, it doubles the enemy count, right? And so if there's shit, it's now we're dealing with double the enemy count carrying 2.
And by the way,
losers.
we're still doing it. I
We're still
mean,
doing
my
it.
lower back is fucking jacked just in the past 2 weeks. All the weight we've been lifting.
Just carrying.
Each have
these
our
fucking guys.
roles. Mhm.
But I was gonna ask you, what game have you played where you said the difficulty scaling on this game in particular is great? This is how games should do it.
I mean, I've never really needed to have like a slider in any game that I've played. I'm happy with just you press the button and it has like the notches, and it's like the segmented, difficulty increases all the way up. So I mean, difficulties. My problem generally is the ceiling isn't like necessarily high enough on games where they are not meant to be like From Software games. Like From Software games, you don't want it scaling infinitely, otherwise you just can't play, right? But games where the main focus isn't look how fucking difficult this game is, those seem to be the funnest ones to crank up on and see how high you can go. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I've really seen a game where I'm like, this is the best kind of difficulty system in the world, because so many ones use games that are similar to each other. Maybe, I mean, a gradual increase is pretty solid. I do like Diablo 3, you're talking about Blizzard games again. Their whole Rift and Greater Rift system is literally just, you just keep going until you can't anymore and there's no ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's basically an arcade game. If you think about it, our Diablo 3 is just an arcade game. And it has entertained millions of people and people still play it.
A complaint I have about game scaling that I've experienced, I hate when it's just like, now the enemies have more health. Right? That pisses me off. It's just like, oh, now it just takes more time. If the mechanics don't change, the skill involved don't change, if it's just like you have to spend more time doing this task, that's stupid. I like it
I'd love
when
to talk about this.
Yeah, when like you do a boss battle, like all right, let's what's a boss in like WoW that like his mechanics, all his mechanics. Like let's say Ragnaros, right?
Okay.
Fighting Ragnaros, he has like the certain AoE area he does.
It depends on the Ragnaros, but yeah, there's Firelands and then there's also
Firelands Ragnaros, right? Okay. So he has his certain like gameplay mechanics that he has involved with how you interact with him on that boss battle. If you were to do like Mythic, I love it if they were just like, and now the mechanics are changed, and now the timings are different.
Well,
and now,
I mean, you couldn't. I mean, Mythic wasn't introduced in
I'm saying
Cataclysm,
no.
but like, yeah. I mean, what you were describing before, you could even take that to WoW. You're describing Mythic Plus. I mean, Mythic Plus dungeons, and that leads to like meta slaves, like only the top classes. And we could literally talk about this for straight 2 to 10 hours, because this is like one of the biggest problems that Blizzard has, is just their dev team is so fucking disconnected from players, and it doesn't matter how much screaming at them, all they see is the bottom line is all they see, to keep playing. But like that turns into meta slaves. You end up having 3 or 4 specs in the game or 5, because there's 5 for M+, that people will only bring because they happen to scale up to a certain point, even if they don't scale for the 1 to 10 or 1 to 12, or there's other things that are comparable to it. And now people only bring those fucking specs. And so if you're like, if you play Feral Druid for the longest time, like I did, you wait in a queue in a game where people are yelling, this game is fucking dead, I can't get into game.
Yep.
Then everyone else saying, no, there's 6 million players that played this month. And you're sitting here just with your thumb in your ass being like, I've been in this fucking queue for 45 minutes because they have created an atmosphere where meta slaving is possible. And one of the things you're talking about with health scaling and damage scaling all the way to infinity, but no actual additional mechanics scaling, means that you have static utility, like on specific classes, and they're only brought for.
I mean, you know what? You know what's great? I'm gonna say it today. Helldivers 2, game of the year last year for sure.
You think?
This year, I'm enjoying this game so fucking much. I'm a fan of games.
Go for it.
Yeah, so a big part of video games that I enjoy, and chat, let me know how you feel about this. I like it when you can approach a game from a multitude of angles on how your gameplay goes, right? Do you remember that it's not Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, is it 365.5 days?
Yeah. It was the edition where you could have all the discs in one or whatever.
I think
right.
I think it was on DS, or it was a DS game I played, or maybe it was a Game Boy game.
I bought it as a bundle, so
yeah,
I got
on. It was a Nintendo game for me for sure. I played on Nintendo or PSP. Now you don't even fucking know. Anyways, this Kingdom Hearts game, it allowed you to put in like little chips. Let me see if I can find it here.
It was 358 2 days. It was the fifth game. I had bought it in a bundle with like 1, 2, and 3, and it was called something very specifically. So when I bought it, I thought that it just came in the fucking bundle like they did the 5th installment, but I couldn't remember. It was just some kind of bundle that I had bought.
Let's see if I can find the.
I guess. I think. I don't know. I never beat it, so someone could correct me if I'm wrong in chat.
No, it is 358 in 2 days.
Eris Stas, I think traditional scaling is good with how Halo 2 and 3 did it, where there were story reasons why elites or grunts were harder to kill. I think, and I'll make a fucking flat statement, anytime the lore backs up some like decision and it's consistent, is some congruency, it's just like I'm a huge lore fanatic, and when they can, yeah.
Yeah, if you check out the screenshot right now, this is the Windows screen for like your inventory. This one's specifically for like magic, right? How you cast spells and shit. You could use that entire board on the left to have your loadout, and depending on what you put it into like certain slots, it was like how your spells work and what level they are and what type of like effects they had. That's fucking great. Because you could play an entire game never utilizing like ice magic the entire time. You're like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And it would still play like a fun game. It would be a nice experience. Helldivers 2 has a similar mechanic where you can choose what loadouts you want. You can choose how you want to interact with the enemies. Do you want to be the guy that has like a lot of anti-tank stuff or a lot of like mass enemy killing shit? That's cool as fuck. And playing like MMOs like WoW, I enjoy playing as like a dot player, right? Damage over time.
Like an Aflock, an S-Priest,
a
Feral Druid.
Affliction Warlock is my fucking go-to. I love it. But I never fucking enjoyed Rogue. Rogue is ass. Fuck Rogue. I hate playing as Rogue. But I could be every single mission in the game as an Affliction Warlock if I wanted to, and I can join like every raid that I wanted to. You know, the super meta players are like, oh no, maybe not this guy, but I still had the opportunity. It's still there.
I mean, there's an underestimation that just can't map on to like today's age of World of Warcraft, where the meta is just, and it's really been like the way for the past like 5 years, to be honest. It really only is. It is like it is, if you're not playing one of like 8 or 9 specs, you're not going to be brought to anything over, say, like a 13 or a 14, or you're going to have to make your own key. And I think an excuse of being like, well, then just make your own key every single time is absolutely dog shit. I'm playing dumb. An MMO. I want to do on other people's keys. Anyway, it's fucking wild. I think having the malleability in a way, I think you might like Final Fantasy 14. Having one character that can do different. Okay, so fuck malleability.
It's too weeb. No, malleability is good. It was just too weeb for me, dog. It's just too fucking.
I love the weeb.
He's a guy husky. Like, okay, dog. Just tell me where to fucking kill the enemy. I don't need to have this like little. It's a little anime girl who's like the size of like a 12-year-old being like, please save me. Like, and it's like, oh, I'm actually 70 years old.
She's 938 years old. First of all, and she's half dragon.
Fuck her, dude.
That's got to make the difference, right?
No, that whole perception of like, you know, it's a Japanese culture thing for sure. right? Like it's look how
Yeah.
hot or pretty youth is. I never got on board. I'm not a fan.
Wait, so the only reason why you didn't like 14 is because they have like lolicon-esque like characters that are like, is that
Yeah.
the?
Lolicon-esque cutesy little fucking. I'm a warrior sent here to defend the planet. I'm gonna kill the big boss. Oh, isekai.
Oh, isekai. Isekai.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude. If I'm supposed to be like the big bad, like time traveling, dimension warping, like valiant warrior.
Wait, so you don't like unintuitive like dichotomies? Like when I was playing Guild Wars 1 for the first time, which was massive to me. I played it was a mesmer. Was it like what kind of knight was it? Shadow Knight, whatever the evil warrior class was.
Yeah.
And it was a mesmer, whatever, right? And so because you picked mesmer as your first one, your character frame and the way that they used their weapons was that way. Was it? It wasn't. Was it mesmer necromancer? I can't fucking remember. But I had this
combo.
huge fucking sword that would float around me, and I felt like such a badass using that because I wasn't just like a. Playing like an undead warrior feels cool. Playing a gnome warrior feels cool. Being like, I'm a tiny person, but I can do these fucking huge things. There's irony to it, but there's also some like class fantasy that maybe like big things come in small packages. I don't want that to be related to any of the lolicon shit, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put a disclaimer immediately. I'm just talking about dichotomies between like how you look and the power level that you have. And
I would play like in D&D like a gnome barbarian, right? Or I'd play like a half orc, like artificer. Dude, I like dichotomies. They're interesting, right? You look this way, you act another. That's fun. But Final Fantasy is just too fucking. Isekai. Nani. Fuck out
let's see. Lolcow Punch Out with MMOs. If a class system doesn't work out for you, then you can always try a different approach. I wonder if that's in relation to like them creating the class system itself, or the different approach being playing a different game.
Nah, you just try a new fucking class. You just respec.
But I mean, that only works so far. If you reach a certain competitive level in these games, you are basically forced.
Yeah.
You're forced to meta unless you are someone who is playing with extremely high level players, top 100 players, and you're all in Discord and you're still not being optimal in the first place. You're being competitive only with the efficacy of the spec that you're playing, not with the other people that are doing the same like level of keys. Which is, for a competitive person, someone with has like a high trait assertiveness and shit like that, they want that.
Brian in the chat
reward.
says Final Fantasy is one of the best job class systems in MMO. One character can be everything, no need for alts. I do like that, but I also don't like that, and it's a little bit nuanced. I'm a fan of how in WoW I had a minimum of 3 characters I leveled up, specifically for like trades, like the jobs you can have. It gave me another reason to go in and not just be my like kick-ass, badass, level 100 max fucking dude, right? I was incentivized to replay the game from a different perspective. There's so much content. In WoW. Like if you've never seen like the Blood Elves starting area because you played as like a Tauren shaman your first playthrough and only have been a Tauren shaman, there's no reason to go over there, right?
And the first time you see a mana worm, I remember the first day of TBC and just loading into my Blood Elf and looking at a mana worm in the starting area and just it floating there, and it reminded me of the picture of the female Blood Elf on like the
box art, right?
The box art, yes, of the mana worm, and I was like, this is so fucking cool. I want to see them add in more Warcraft 3 elements. I want to see and we got a whole bunch of that mana wraiths and the hungerer type individuals, and I was like, it was fucking sick. The dead scar, like going through that and like running away from abominations, and super
Brian
sick.
says Final Fantasy also has the replay factor where you can go back and play the base game if you want the story over again. Problem is you gain no experience from the quest. Yeah, it's not as incentivized. I like replayability in video games, and maybe that's like an autistic. I grab onto something and I want to fucking, dude, I want to beat it. I want to do it. Like maybe, but like, that's like my favorite games have been, these favorite games of all time, Scorp. Because for me, top 3.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's almost a mean question.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, do it. For me, the top 3 are Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics. Number 2 is gonna be Castlevania Aria of Sorrows. And number 3 is maybe Jet Set Radio Future.
That's a solid list.
Jet Set is so outside of what the other 2 games are, but that's the 3. Where are you at?
I would almost have to have different categories for like what best game of all time
too
means.
bad.
Like replayability, the first time
Nope,
that I
too
actually
bad.
played it.
Just
Fuck
it.
whatever my intuitive sense is of the question that you just asked.
Yeah.
Okay, god damn it. And I'm not saying these are the best games ever made. These were the games that had the
Your
most impact
favorite.
for me. My favorite games. I'm going to say and I'll make a blanket statement. The best game ever created was Planescape Torment. Straight up, if you haven't played it, everyone who has played it goes, yeah, this is on my top 10 list for sure, no matter what. Next, I'm going to go EverQuest because it was the MMO I played the most of my formative years. I learned my lefts and rights playing that game. Killing goblins in Highkeep at 6 years old. Then I would have to go third. There's so many games, dog. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna lock it down. I'm going Final Fantasy X. I think that it was the first game that made me cry out of something that wasn't anger. It was before it was just rage. And then the storyline really touched me. I love the system. The music scores were amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic. We both have a Final Fantasy on there. Final Fantasy's been an amazing franchise. One of the best franchise, I would say. We have Brian saying, for me, numero uno is Lunar Silver's Star Story complete. It was the first RPG I've ever beaten on PS1, and I loved it. Never played it, never heard of it, but I will look into it. Have you heard of that, Scorp? Lunar Story?
No, I haven't. I mean, if I had like an honorable mentions list, right, I could put like Might and Magic 6 and 7, like Heroes of Might and Magic 3 could be on there. Silent Hill 2, like the OG, like before this remaster or remake, I should say, the actual like remastered version. I mean, there's like you and me could spend we could probably have 50 games on an honorable mentions list. It's just such an impossible. Like, what's your favorite song?
Favorite song ever?
Yeah, by Cake.
No, but Cake is up there. It's Drunk Again by Real Big Fish.
Real Big Fish, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome Tatum said, what's Scorpicus's background? This is my first time seeing him. He seems knowledgeable. In terms of like game stuff, this guy's been playing games since like before he produced Cum. I mean, which is most of us, but like, he really said, fuck Cum, dude, games.
I guess I played like semi-pro. I did semi-pro cutting edge stuff for World of Warcraft. I have played basically from like 2011 below every MMO that had ever really come out, even some obscure ones like Lunaya and Dragon's Nest, like a lot of the Korean and Japanese ones too. All the big ones, all of those MMOs, plus any all the RPG genres. A lot of late 80s, like I've played a lot of SNES games, late 80s games, a lot of 90s RPGs. A lot of DOS games, Hexen and Heretic, and then I went on to streaming afterwards.
Do you remember your first video game? We have
yes.
Brian says his first ever video game was Mario Brothers 3 on SNES.
Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Mine.
Good game.
Was
I liked it more than 2.
Mario 64.
Okay, solid.
That was my first ever game. Playing in the castle missions.
I think mine was. I think it was like one of the first Need for Speed, I think, was up there. And there was like an Aliens game or something that I had played as well. And then when I was about late 5, early 6 years old, I got into EverQuest. And that was when,
It all went downhill.
Oh, fuck. I could have been a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, I could have been a lawyer, dog. Like, I wanted to be. I could have been a lawyer, but instead I did 16 hours a day doing this. So yeah, I have done some. I've had some world records and things like Doom. I've went semi-pro in some games, but most of it is just shooning and gooning.
I'm tempted to do a list with you.
Go for it. I mean, we have probably 10 hours worth of content. Just I've already written up to talk about if you want. A lot. So, and also the best anime of all time is Yu Yu Hakusho. Fuck anyone that doesn't think so. Sorry.
We're gonna do.
Oh, Fear's so good. Rob the Mod, Chrono Trigger, FF Tactics, and Fear on my top list. Fear's one of those games that they should have went back and made it co-op like they did later on. And the DLCs are actually pretty fucking good. Those are games Alma gives you fucking jump scares. Fear 3 was pretty good. They should have made a fucking Fear 4. They had the advancements from Fear 2 to adding in powers and co-op in Fear 3. Amazing. And they did mechs first, Helldivers mechs are loosely based off of Fear mechs. A lot of the people forget where a lot of shit comes from. And of course, Fear, took some shit from other places further down the line. But yeah, we could Fear 4 would be a fucking banger.
Tune into the stream on Discord. Game Developers Choice Awards, the GDCA. I'm gonna go down each year. I'm gonna hear your thoughts on deserved, not deserved, and why. Right?
I'm here for it.
Well, obviously I can't hide this one, but Baldur's Gate 3 won the 2024 Game of the Year versus Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Spider-Man 2, and Tears of the Kingdom. Do you think out of those 5 other games, BG3 was the winner?
I think if you there's been no 2 games that have had a bigger cultural impact, and even some of it's political, which is fucking wild. It's branched out so crazy. Than Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring. I think in the past 3 years, they have raised the bar to the point. And by the way, I've been a huge Larian Studios fan since the beginning. And Divinity 1 and 2, Original Sin, would go on, if I had a top 20 games list of all time, both of them go on my top 20 list. But yeah, they are so a cut above that we'd have to have an entire conversation about people saying it's almost rude that they made their game so good because they raised the bar, and game devs being upset that they have a standard that they actually have to fucking meet. Because for so long it's just been what shit can I churn out to make money? I'm gonna say, my dog is barking.
Aaron is
I'm gonna give it
2 barks. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna feed him. I'm gonna say, yeah.
Deserved or not deserved?
Baldur's Gate 3, 100% deserved. I'm gonna go feed him.
Go feed your dog. I'm gonna say for BG3, it was my first truly cinematic game experience where I felt like they had a whole story, a whole universe laid out for me, and the mechanics in the game were specifically made to have you interact with that story in a multitude of ways that it came together beautifully. You could say other games had very cinematic notes to it, right? I think the last Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain or whatever was very cinematic. It was very themed. Death Stranding, also huge cinematic story behind the motif of the game, but BG3 did it best ever. I have a story to tell. I have a universe to interact with. Here's every way you can interact with it. You feel like you're involved. Next, 2023.
I would like to say though, in the honorable mentions though, at the top there, I don't think for instance, Dave the Diver and Cocoon should take a spot over say D4, Alan Wake 2,
or Starfield.
Starfield, Final Fantasy. I think all of those take the spots over those. I played Dredge, and I also think it only squeaked by there because it was a little like it.
Because it was a small development
honestly,
team, and it was like,
and-
wow,
and
they
I-
did something cool.
And I think it's the art style. I think, and
Yeah.
you slap anything Cthulhu-esque on something Lovecraftian, and all of a sudden you hit gold. So I think it got carried.
I would have dropped Cocoon for Starfield. I would have dropped Dredge for Diablo 4.
Respect. Yeah, I'd keep Tears of the Kingdom and Spider-Man 2 on that.
Yeah.
Okay, 23rd Annual Game Developers Choice Awards.
Elden
The
Ring.
winner was, of course,
Obviously, hands down. But I mean, compared to Ragnarok, Immortality, Pentiment, Stray, and Tunic. Did you play Stray?
I watched someone play it. It did not interest me at all.
I played through Stray. It was okay. It's another one of those like I'm trying to show you a story. There's a cool universe I built, and let's have you interact with it. But it was just not. It wasn't the same. It felt like a side scroller, but modern. You know, I'm not a huge fan of linear games in particular. I play them.
Yeah.
I some of them are good, but this is just linear with a third dimension.
And you know what that is? That's just his like abhorrence to authority. He hates authority.
you.
He questions it 24/7, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna make me go over there? No, I want to go out of bounds. He's the kind of player. Don't get me wrong, love him to death. And this is not even a bad quality. If there's a straight path there, and there's like a little nook over there, but it's like kind of obscured in the back that there might be something back there,
I'm in that
you
nook.
couldn't beat him off with a fucking stick.
Ah.
He's in there like swimwear, making sure he's beating every crate down like they're jars in Zelda. Like there could be nothing in there. He's still doing it.
So this one over again, those 5 games. Tunic, I wasn't even super involved with Tunic. I didn't look into it too much. It seemed okay. Honorable mentions: Citizen Sleeper, Cult of the Lamb, Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Snap, Vampire Survivors, Neon White. For sure, Elden Ring is deserved. That game brought in so many new people to like that type of video game. People that were just playing like Madden and Call of Duty. It became such like a cultural icon. People were like, I have to play. I have to get involved. I have to try this out. We saw people like is it iShow Speed, right? Was it iShow Speed and Kai Cenat were like, I'm gonna play Elden Ring. To get those I'm gonna say type of people. I don't mean their race. I mean for like those type of streamers, or those type of people to like be like, let me play a fucking Japanese RPG. Crazy. That's crazy. That's not what we were expecting from like, you know, cultural norms when it comes to like gaming in America.
Honestly, I would like to say that doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the game, really. It just has to do with it was so big, they just see an opportunity to make money because people would watch the stream and watch them die over and over.
They love playing.
And
it.
I think there is a correlation that we see with like sometimes, and almost rarely with the quality of the game and how many copies it ends up selling. Because we can all think of games where we're like, I have never even heard of that anyone else has played this game before. And, you know, but it had a mixture of both. It had a mixture of unbelievably amazing bar-raising game and there's no way to gush about it more without it sounding cheesy.
I would personally move Vampire Survivors in place of Tunic.
Okay.
And Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of the Lamb goes up.
Instead of Stray. All right, 22. Inscription. Did you play Inscription at all?
I watched it online.
I played it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. This is competing against Forza Horizon 5, Resident Evil Village, Deathloop, and It Takes Two.
Yeah, I'm
The honorable mentions. I'm gonna throw honorable because these games not top tier in my head. Halo Infinite, Guardians of the Galaxy, Psychonauts 2, Chicory: A Colorful Tale, and Death's Door. Now, not deserved. In my opinion,
not deserved at all. Not deserved
Inscription
at all.
was fun, but it was not deserved for Game of the Year. If out of all these games for that year, I would have said It Takes Two. It Takes Two was a beautiful story. It had fun mechanics. Having like a purposely co-op game like achieve the fame that it did was really cool to see for the gaming industry. I think co-op games are really fun. I think playing with someone else in a video game is almost like a necessity with like how we are societally now. We're so like we're so alone. Sorry, chat. This is Sad House. We're like all by ourselves. A lot of us spend a lot of time in our rooms, at our desks, watching TV, watching YouTube, watching all this. So to play a game with like a friend of yours online remotely, or a romantic partner, hey, wink, wink, was like a cool thing to see. I missed that kind of like interactivity. It was like playing San Andreas, and you would go to that one like rundown apartments near Grove Street, and you step on the second player icon, and then now your second controller's active, and now you're playing with like another person. That was cool, right? I like co-op games.
When I look at that list, it makes me question why Far Cry 6 and like Guilty Gear Strive weren't on the fucking list. But for some reason, like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy made it. Like, I mean, I get Halo Infinite being on there. I can understand that. It left me wanting more because I still am like trying to relive the Halo 2 in 3 days.
Yeah.
But it just didn't hit the same. I get Horizon 5 being on there. I get Forza. I played it. I mean, I've beaten like half of these. But I don't know why those 2 games specifically didn't make it even as final. Like even Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, didn't that come out in?
I think so. Again, not as popular, but I feel like Five Nights has ran its course personally. But Darth Nugget says, early like Deathloop, ending just sucked. The ending was awful for Deathloop. Deathloop was fun, but the ending was trash. So I'm giving it a not deserved. Where are you at?
Not deserved. You know what? Fuck it. If God, what's that game? We were playing it before. I can't believe. Don't Starve Together. I think if it hadn't used basically the same artwork as Don't Starve Together, it wouldn't have made the list.
Yeah. All right. 2021 Hades versus Animal Crossing, Last of Us Part 2, Half-Life Alyx, and Ghost of Tsushima. With honorable mentions of Spelunky 2, Doom Eternal, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Microsoft Flight Simulator? Fuck off. Is that Final Fantasy?
It's really good. It had great YouTube, like the content that people were recording on it was fucking hilarious. Anyway, sorry, go for it.
Final Fantasy VII remake. I grew up in America, not Greek or Rome, so I don't know what these Roman numerals are. Genshin Impact.
7.
Is that 7? Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Okay, let me, if you don't mind, I get Animal Crossing being on there. So here's what I would do: take The Last of Us and Half-Life, nuke that bitch. Put Hades down as a finalist. Amazing game. Fucking love it. I beat it. Fantastic. And then extend the finalist list between Doom Eternal needs to go up there. It probably should be number 1. It probably should have won it. Genshin Impact needs to go up there. Great game, even though it's not as gacha-y as Maple Story is, but it's a gachapon nonetheless. And Final Fantasy VII Remake would also be like a contender for number 1. The simple fact that Final Fantasy VII and Doom Eternal aren't at the top, like somewhere up there, is fucking wild. I mean, you could say Ghost of Tsushima could also be a winner. I mean, this is a fucking stacked list. There's 4 or 5 here where I could definitely see them winning these choice awards here. But like, I would almost separate them between like soundtrack, Doom Eternal for sure, and like replayability. Final Fantasy VII would be like storyline. Yeah, I think that's my take. There's too many heavy hitters in this list.
Hades was a very fun roguelike for me.
Yeah.
It was the art style increase, but same gameplay level of like Binding of Isaac. That's where that's where it stuck in my head, was that I didn't see like a more favorable gameplay perspective of it versus like Binding of Isaac did. But the art was crazy. It was cool. And then the story felt more like
it had a great
polished.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
It just, if it had come out earlier, I think it would have had a bigger impact. It just didn't feel as novel as it otherwise could have, because we had games before that were like roguelikes. I mean, at this point, like Ziggurat had come out.
Yeah.
Like way earlier, like a whole bunch of other fun roguelikes. And let's see, let me Doom Eternal was not a better game than Last of Us 2 by Angel Palace. I have to unbelievably disagree, purely because of story writing decisions being fucking horrible. They had an opportunity to
For
make
part
a Last
two?
of Us 2. Yeah, they had such a fucking good opportunity. One of the best duos in fiction, I want to say, for like video games. And they shit it down the drain to go a path that we were all saying before the game was released, knowing they were going to do that, saying, don't fucking do this. And to this day, The Last of Us Part 2 is so controversial to the point where now they're making a remake or making the TV show of it. And even they're going even further beyond with more creative decisions that don't even match up with that. And we're like, Jesus, from casting to story, just fucking fresh. Which is why I can't put it above Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is just an amazing game any way you slice it, every way around. There's no way to even add controversy to it because it's just good.
I liked part 2.
Well, I don't think it's a bad game. I just so heavily disagree with where the story went. I'm trying not to do any spoilers for people.
I'm gonna say deserved. Actually, I think Hades over these games in terms of like game of the year. Hades was a game harder to put down than the other games. I did spend like 3 months. I got halfway through part 2 of Last of Us. 3 months was like, I'm not gonna play this game, but I did play Hades multiple times during that time. So I'd say that's where it wins. Next, Scorp, deserved or not deserved?
Barely not deserved, but I'm happy with it.
This one pisses me the fuck off. 2020 game of the year was Untitled Goose Game. And it won over Death Stranding, Control, Sekiro, and Outer Wilds, with honorable mentions to Disco Elysium, The Outer Wilds was the other one. The Outer Worlds, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Apex Legends. Somehow the game about being a fucking goose who like bothers people and grab these items and move them here and grab this item and you have to confuse the chef so you can go get his sausages. Fuck right off.
This is offensive. This is, you know what, this is just like next level like 9D rage bait, but I don't get it. I don't get it. Cameron Monaghan's performance in Fallen Order, just his performance alone, is better than the entirety of fucking Untitled Goose Game.
The two standouts for me,
Sekiro
and Death Stranding.
Sekiro wins, I think, and then Death Stranding right underneath it.
I might put Death Stranding above Sekiro personally. But I am a patient gamer. I will do all the side quests. I will max out my character.
Yeah.
I will go through and find all the objectives, all the hidden items, all the shit. Playing Death Stranding at like 9 p.m. with rain hitting your window, and you just lean back with your controller, and you're like, oh, I'm going up this hill. This area right here is a little bit tumultuous.
Norbert, this is the Game of the Year Awards for the Game Choice Awards. 21st Annual Game Developers Choice Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe Untitled Goose Game, the game I played while shitting on my toilet on my Switch, because it was the only thing that was like, fuck it. It's such a like whatever game. I can just throw it on while the poop's dangling. Or Disco Elysium even? The honorable mentions in this fucking list are better games.
Oh, every single game in this list is better than Untitled Goose Game. Untitled Goose Game reminds me of, what was that game that I had played earlier? This was actually, I think, when we first started hanging out. Getting Over It. It was where you had to take the, and unironically, I think Getting Over It is significantly better than Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, I'd say so. I can't believe this. We're going next. Undeserved, right? Undeserved.
Fucking gross. Offensive tier. Oh, bangers.
God of War won the 2019 Game of the Year over Red Dead Redemption 2, Return of the Obra Dinn, Marvel's Spider-Man, Celeste, and also honorable mentions to Tetris Effect, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Into the Breach, Florence, and Monster Hunter World. Oh, Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. Odyssey was good. I have not played a single David Jaffe game ever. None of his God of the Wars or Twisted Metal or Drawn to Death. I haven't played them.
Yeah.
But I did play a portion of this game. The girl I was dating at the time loved God of War. I got her this for PS5 or PS4, one of them. And it was like, oh, I can't beat this mission. I was like, I'll play. And I found myself playing past beating the little puzzle thing. And I was like, let me play some more. Hold on. And I'll like keep playing. This was a fun game. I get Jaffe's opinion on this is all like, they changed who this character is. It's not supposed to be a fun little dad. He's supposed to be an asshole. But
I'd love to have a conversation about that too. If like later on developers and writers should be allowed to change the essence of a character for cultural reasons or whatever type of like relativistic. But yeah, let's
Now, I've also played RDR2. I played a ton of Red Dead Redemption 2. I played Celeste. I played Marvel Spider-Man. Played a ton of Ultimate. I would say this is deserved. The gameplay, the story, the emotion this game gives you. And now I know Jaffe's take was like the character changed, but the character that he is now is still a good character. I vibe heavy with the I'm this like father showing my son a mission thing. And maybe that's trauma. Maybe it's trauma for me personally with like a like a father figure. But to see Kratos become like a honorable dad, teaching his kid the ways of like being independent and strong for yourself, it hit. Local Punch Out says, Tech Protect, did you ever play Jaffe's Flash game of Tina D? I did play that game, I guess a little bit. I'm putting deserved. Hard for our Red Dead Redemption 2 to not be up there, but this is a great game.
I'm gonna say First of all, Return of Obra Dinn basically looks like the era was like a little older than like Leisure Suit Larry. Like fucking Mario is missing. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love older games, fucking love them, but that just does not belong on the finalist list. I would slap Monster Hunter World up in the place of Return from Obra Dinn, and I would put up maybe Super Smash. Maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Fuck it. I'm happy with those being there. If we're gonna have a conversation about who should win this based on the character, the quality of character, and don't get me wrong, I've met David Jaffe now. Like the dude. We had a great conversation earlier on the previous on the main channel. Yeah. And I'd love to do more stuff with the network. I'd love to, whatever kind of situation we can scramble brain up. I'd love to do that. So I'm definitely not trying to say, I'm not trying to win any brownie points by saying God of War here. I'm gonna, not that you are, but just if we're gonna compare two characters, maybe if we're gonna compare the David Jaffe era Kratos,
not just characters. I'm saying gameplay.
It sounded like you were talking about like the quality of the character and the
just because the common Jaffe critique is always like this character shouldn't have been this guy. I don't care. The character that he is cool, but the gameplay of God of War was fantastic, and the gameplay of Red Dead Redemption was fantastic.
Kratos versus Arthur fucking Morgan.
Yeah.
I get if you're looking at the God of War series through a wide lens and you're looking at the progression of the character through all of them. I think in a straight up vacuum, Arthur Morgan wins. I think Kratos wins if you look at it from the start to the finish. And it's next to impossible not to when you're playing.
Deserved or not deserved?
Not deserved, barely.
Fuck you. Okay.
It's a tiny rift. What can I say? This is a tiny rift we have between us.
Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild versus PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Odyssey, with mentions of Cuphead, What Remains of Edith Finch, Persona 5, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Gorogoi? Fuck that game. Divinity Original Sin 2, and Night in the Woods. Now, I know you have a dog in the game, right? I have
a lot of dogs in this game.
I've 100% in Breath of the Wild. I've won at least 50 Winter Turkey dinners on PUBG. I've played through most of Nier Automata. I've 100%ed Horizon Zero Dawn, and I played the fuck out of Odyssey. Great games. Personally, I liked Horizon Zero Dawn more than I liked Zelda. I'm going to give Breath of the Wild a not deserved.
So my history with these games, and I appreciate, I get it. I think I beat Horizon Zero Dawn. I beat Nier Automata. I had a 17% win rate in solos in PUBG the last season that I played. I've beat Odyssey. I beat What Remains of Edith Finch. Didn't play Cuphead, but I watched a lot of it, and I was like, it impressed me. Played Persona 5. Didn't play Hellblade or Gorogoa. And Divinity Original Sin 2 is in my top 20 list. And I'd have to... Divinity Original Sin would I replace it with Super Mario Odyssey? I mean, this is it's a great list. It's a fantastic list.
I would make just one swap, and it's Zero Dawn going to the winner, and then Breath of the Wild in the finalists. That's me. That's it. That's the only change I would make. Everything else is fine.
I wouldn't do Zero Dawn because I felt like it felt kind of Far Cry-y. It felt, and the story with that plot twist, I don't want to spoil anything, but where you find out like the origin story, it didn't feel like it was like super novel. I kind of saw it coming a bit, but aesthetically the game was so fucking pretty. Getting to stand on the fucking, you know what I'm talking about?
Walker guy.
The giraffes, yeah, that was fucking sick. I just feel like it had already kind of been done before, and it was about a story about a specific girl, and I fucking loved it. But I wouldn't put it like as an S tier game. I'd put it like a low A or a high B.
Compared to these games, I would put it above these games. It's not my top 10 games.
I respect it. I respect it. It's better than Nier Automata. It's definitely better than Odyssey.
Better than PUBG.
It's better than PUBG. Is it better than Breath of the Wild? Or Persona 5. Persona 5 also is a fucking fantastic game.
Fuck Persona 5. Those weeaboo little fucking... Oh, look, I'm a little Persona 5 guy. Isekai. Not hating on Japan. I love Japan. But just Persona 5 is not it for me. Deserved, not deserved.
I'm going... I gotta go fucking deserved. I gotta go slightly deserved. It's just... We have a tiny rift here, Tech.
2017, Overwatch by Blizzard won out against Uncharted 4, Inside, Dishonored 2, Firewatch, with honorable mentions of Doom, The Witness, Battlefield 1, The Last Guardian, Titanfall 2. It's just
I'll do mine first, then you do yours. I think that's how this one's gonna have to go.
No complaints. It's just deserved. Mine's so short.
Just what it deserved?
Yep, everything in the order that it's in. Just deserved.
I think Overwatch is a dog shit game. So I'm gonna... culturally, I get it. I understand it. It fucking changed the map. But I'm not gonna give it fucking Game of the Year. It's not a better game than Doom. The difference between Doom 3 and Doom is so fucking drastic in like a right direction, even lore-wise. It is insane. Yeah, I can't give it. I don't know why Doom. It's just a better game. It's just a better game in every single fucking way. Even think about this. And anyone and we got like Angel Pallies in here saying Overwatch is decent. I get it.
Because by Brian, by the way.
Brian, perfect. Brian, awesome. Because we been in the same room. P5 was a near perfect game, so he has some taste. Respect. Doom just doesn't really have flaws like that. Even Overwatch players hate Overwatch.
Overwatch commanded, at minimum, 10 times more fun in terms of like play factor over all the other games listed.
Yeah, but it also commanded 10 times more rage. 10 times more toxicity.
That's
10
fine.
times more, and it spawned an entire genre of games where now you have people in the front that have walls or shields, and everyone's just shooting into them, and then people kind of flank. And we see what happened with Marvel Rivals here. I hit GM in Marvel Rivals, and then it just there was so much of the same copy.
Tracer. How about Widowmaker? I'm already
culturally,
Widowmaker.
it beats Doom out. Culturally, it beats Doom out like a motherfucker. It beats probably almost every single game on this list out culturally. It's just not a better game.
Oh. It's a much more fun game. Yeah, get mad. I say
Marvel Rivals is
deserved.
better than Overwatch.
You
Whatever.
say
Okay.
undeserved.
Undeserved.
Witcher 3, 2016, over Fallout
Deserved.
4, Metal Gear Solid 4, Phantom Pain, Bloodborne, Rocket League, with mentions of Her Story, Super Mario Maker, Undertale, Splatoon, and Life is Strange.
This is the first time I've seen the list where it's like, this is almost exactly how I would have the list there. Straight up, I don't think I would swap any mentions, any finalists. The only argument, real solid argument, is Fallout 4 versus The Witcher.
I was a Reinhardt main and Chilalo. The Witcher 3 is a trash game and should not be on any fucking finalist list or honorable mentions. It was horrible. It was bad. Did not like it. Fuck out of here. Don't care. Wah wah. The little fucking Gent or whatever game they played with the fucking... That was much more fun for me than the actual Witcher 3 was. I have more time playing the little mini game in the game than the game.
Okay, but that's not fair because I have over 3,500 hours playing Blitzball in Final Fantasy X. So it's like sometimes the game can be amazing and you can have a great game inside of it.
What I said was true. Fuck you, Witcher 3. Get out of here.
Also, if you would like to tell people
game, just play
if you would
Skyrim.
like to,
This was Skyrim, like a wannabe little brother who's like, you have to take me to the party too. Mom said, "Fuck out of here, Witcher 3."
for
the
the last one, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience how you got the name Tech Protect? We're talking about Overwatch.
It's so simple. I played fucking Reinhardt, Tech Protect with the shield, and also like a Technoblade reference. It was all cumulative. I liked it.
It was a mix, but yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with this. Super fucking happy. Bloodborne is, in my opinion, the best From Software game they ever made. I think Bloodborne's actually better than Elden Ring. Maybe not in terms of like full totality. Like, of course, when you're comparing things like music, you're comparing the artwork, you're comparing the expansiveness of the world. I think Bloodborne plays better. I think thematically it works better. I love that, like, the theme artistically fucking works fantastic. The combat system I think is just
In
better.
Witcher?
No, in Bloodborne.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, Elden Ring just has so much more to it, and they do it so well that Elden Ring is a better game. But I would not. I would prefer to play Bloodborne over Elden Ring if I had to. Also, Rocket League. I put like a lot of hours into Rocket League. I hit GC before GC 2 and 3 was a thing, and then I stopped because I don't want to put another 2,000 hours in practice. Yeah, happy with this.
I'm gonna say should have been Phantom Pain. Not deserved. Fuck them. Next is the last one we're gonna do. We have to go back to the Jaffe stream.
Okay.
Middle Earth: Shadows of Mordor, or Shadow Mordor, over Bayonetta 2, Destiny, Hearthstone, Alien Isolation, with mentions of Titanfall, Valiant Hearts, Far Cry 4, Dragon Age Inquisition, and Smash Bros. Wii U. This game was fun. I played this game a ton. I still pick it. The last time I played this game was a week ago. I like Shadow of Mordor. Was not a fan of Bayonetta 2. It feels like it's the entry point of gooning for the youth because it's like hot chicken tights. That's it. Destiny was fun, but Destiny was Destiny, all right? And after his song got through with him, it wasn't the same. Anyway, I'm joking. Destiny was okay.
Wait, isn't that a girl's name?
Yeah. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, is a great game. I played so many hours of that game. I was number 1 in the world for a number of months back in like 2017. So, undeserved. Hearthstone should have won. Hearthstone should have been in the fucking top. Fuck you guys. Hearthstone's the best game. Fuck you. Fuck you. 2015, Hearthstone. That's what I'm saying.
So,
that's my point. Undeserved.
So, I mean, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Back to the Silmarillion, all the fucking lore. And this game expanded on some lore. So, I appreciated that. I don't think it takes the cake here. I think Destiny actually takes this cake. I remember playing through it through the first raid, it being fantastic. Hearthstone ended up being the biggest played online card game on the planet, and still is, if I remember right. So culturally, Hearthstone would have to fucking win this. I was going to put it on there. I think Destiny's a better game than Hearthstone is. I think Hearthstone has had some like serious balancing issues and some serious
Scorp,
meta issues.
We're gonna have to redirect now, even though I can't redirect. So we're gonna speedrun this.
Okay,
14,
Dragon
Last
Age
of Us.
Inquisition and Far Cry 4 should be on the final list and take off Bayonetta 2 and take off
It's
Alien
deserved or
Isolation.
not deserved. That's all it is.
Definitely not.
Last of Us, deserved.
Deserved.
Journey, not deserved. Not over
Not
Mass Effect
deserved.
3. Fuck you.
Nope. Or even
Skyrim,
XCOM.
deserved.
Deserved.
Red Dead Original over Mass Effect 2.
Well, no, I probably wouldn't be putting it over Black Ops, to
Deserved.
be honest. Honestly, not deserved.
Uncharted 2 over
Over Dragon Age Origins, no. No, not deserved.
deserved for me.
And Arkham Asylum's there, too. Arkham Asylum's there.
Oh,
Fucking
Arkham Asylum?
definitely not
Never mind,
deserved.
not
Definitely
deserved.
not.
Fallout
Nope.
3.
Deserved.
Deserved. Portal
Fuck
over
GTA. Nope,
Over
nope,
Galaxy?
not deserved. Bioshock should be taken. No, well, Rock Band. This is an amazing
Yeah,
lineup for
not deserved.
2008.
Sorry, Portal. Fuck off.
Not deserved. Not
Gears
deserved.
of War, the original, over Akami, Oblivion.
Over Oblivion. Nope. Sorry, not deserved.
Uh,
Okami was up there too. Okami's like, if you haven't played Okami before, guys,
Deserved.
play Okami. It's really that good.
Shadow of the Colossus over God of War original.
Not over
Racing.
God of War original.
Oh,
Fuck, my headset just died.
undeserved. All right, Half-Life 2.
Half-Life 2 deserved.
Deserved.
Oh no, over World of Warcraft? Nope, not deserved. Not deserved. Not deserved. Sorry.
Actually,
Over the
fine.
entirety of WoW? No.
Over San Andreas, not deserved. All right, Knights of the Old Republic.
Deserved. This is one of the top 10 best games that have ever been created. If you haven't played
Metroid-
KOTOR, go
Metroid
fucking
Prime.
play it. Over Neverwinter Nights? Nope, not deserved. Sorry.
Yeah, not deserved. GTA 3, not over Halo original. Fuck you.
Not over
deserved.
Halo original. No.
Or even Max Payne. All right, first annual The Sims,
Over Deus Ex? No.
deserved for me. Deserved.
I can't. Okay.
We speed run. All right, Jaffe should be going live
Yeah,
stream.
there we go.
Where the
Go
fuck
join
is Jaffe?
Jaffe's stream. We're going to redirect him to Jaffe's stream here
Where
pretty
are
soon.
you?
Go ahead and give him my love. My name is Scorpagus. This is Tech Protect. And hopefully we're going to be doing some very fun stuff in the future. Probably either similar to this, more gaming stuff. If you like the content, go ahead and throw us
This
a
is the story of
subscribe
the
and a
one. As a
follow and all
lineman,
the
it's
different
his job to
kit and
keep-
caboodles you could possibly do. And thank you for tuning in with us with the redirect.
Thank you, everybody. Please click the link in the YouTube chat to go over to Jaffe's live stream. We love you guys. I'm going to send kisses. All right, give him kisses. All right, we're going to stop sharing. Goodbye, everybody. I love you. Okay, make sure you subscribe so this channel gets to 1,000. We can help out Jaffe. All right, it's going to be so good. All right,
Yep.
goodbye.